What's up, guys? So this is basically a review of Nate Diaz versus Anthony Pettis. It happened on August 17th of 2019. Now I'm reviewing, going back, and if you saw on the UFC Fight Pass, they're showcasing a lot of fires, which I think is a lot of it's a really good thing to do, especially with the upcoming card that we've all been anticipating. I mean, it's going to be Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje, and of course it got postponed. I mean, just this coronavirus thing is messing up everything. So that's one of the fights, and I remember this fight really well. It's a really great one. I remember watching it live from Fight Pass, and I remember betting on Nate Diaz, which was a smart bet. I mean, I looked into it when I'm actually, I like to research and stuff, and when I actually did my research, and I thought, you know what, this is a smart bet. I mean, for the reasons why I'll go into detail a little in a bit, but when researching the past fights and just knowing the type of fighters they are, it makes sense. It just really makes sense. A lot of people are saying that because Diaz had like a few years layoff after he basically won, he lost the second. It was the second fight with McGregor. He lost a decision, really close fight. The judges gave it to McGregor. I mean, it was a good one. I'd have to rewatch that again, but yeah, it was a good back and forth fight as well. But so after that, he losing that decision, he just kind of went, incognito for a while. He's saying, he didn't want to. There were not many money fights, I guess, for him. Not really big ones, I guess. And so he's coming back. There's a lot of. It's really interesting. Like I said, these guys. I mean, look, if you're fans of the MMA, especially of UFC, you're gonna know about these guys, right? I mean, they're really always gonna be fun to watch. Now, Diaz, we all know Diaz brings toughness, cardio, good hands, and BJJ to the table, right? That's his bread and butter, right? We got the good hands, we got the BJJ, really good stuff. Pettis gets his nickname Showtime from the exciting style and flashy kicks, right? And that creativeness in the octagon, because having a third-degree black belt in Taekwondo, I think really kind of opens that up. And we all know the famous Showtime kick, right? He comes off the cage and KOs Henderson like a ninja. It's pretty good stuff. But anyway, let's go into the fight. So I was watching this thing, taking a lot of notes. I've been really busy, just doing a lot of stuff, work and family, all that stuff. Busy over here, but finally getting this video out. Had some technical setbacks, but thanks for anyone listening to this. Anyway, so now with Pettis, he was coming off this upset win over Wonderboy, which is really great. I remember I was back in. This is when I flew back over to Texas. Finally got to see it with my friends. Like one of my best friends, George, was there, and I was sitting with my good brother, my youngest brother, and we were watching that. And because I was coming from Japan, my Fight Pass wasn't working over there, and of course in the States it was crazy. So we got George, and luckily we got Fight Pass over there, so we got to hook it up to you. It was really great. I mean, I was really surprised. I mean, Wonderboy was really beating Pettis, right? He's really, we all know that fight. I mean, it's a good way to rewatch, but Pettis was, kind of he was basically on the losing end of a lot of strikes. He was, it was really competitive, really fun fight all the way, but we thought, okay, Wonderboy's basically kicking his ass. He's gonna get the decision. And then all of a sudden, as we all know, Pettis, he's always dangerous. He's really flashy in there. He's really good. He gets off the cage, he jumps forward and lands this kind of little Superman punch, almost like a Superman punch, like a hook from what I remember, like a little jab, and knocks out Wonderboy. Amazing stuff. But so he's coming off of that win, right, when he's facing Diaz. And of course, with the rivalry, when you're fighting Diaz, he's gonna talk shit to you. It's really fun, and there's gonna be bad blood. They're both in that same division. They're gonna be button heads. When you fight a Diaz brother, it's gonna be like that, right? I mean, they'll show respect, but a lot of times it's just he's not gonna be too friendly to you, right? It kind of helped to build up the lead up to the fight. Anyway, Diaz opens up with pressure right away, and Pettis landed some leg kicks as expected, right? We all know that because of the lead leg. We all know the Diaz brothers are heavy on the lead leg because they want to get their boxing out of the way, or rather, they want to really utilize their boxing and their reach. So they're susceptible to low kicks. We all know this. The first round saw Diaz coming forward and landing some front kicks, which I really liked, to the body of Pettis. It's kind of really, I think Diaz really showing his good fight IQ and his just his experience. I mean, Pettis, we all know, is an OG as well, but I think kind of a bad matchup for him. Pettis landed some quick jabs to the head of Diaz, high, like really high, almost like a Muay Thai boxing style kind of guard. You know how the Diaz brothers have it like that? It's like up, high guard, and Pettis was kind of liking these like fast little hooks there, and then going to the body, right, which is really good, smart thing to do. Try to take away a little bit of the cardio of the brothers, because Diaz brothers are cardio machines, as we all know. And also, one thing I have to say, this is just kind of an observation of mine, but because of that, I think that Taekwondo background of Pettis, you'll see the striking, because they're always known for the kicks, right, Taekwondo. But the punches, they're usually set up. They're kind of I just when you watch, we go look a lot out of like contact. You see these Taekwondo matches with contact actually, and they're not just going for points, but when they are actually going for knockouts and everything. These Taekwondo fights, they actually will land these strikes, but it's kind of fast, really kind of with the kind of having their hands down. You know, they wanted that quickness. Now Pettis has always had his hands all the way down, though. He's you know, because MMA is kind of adjusted a bit. But I like the way he kind of throws it like a really fast hook. He wants to punish you a little bit when you get close. That way he can kind of create some distance and land a nice kick, right? But I just, if you actually go and watch even just YouTube, some Taekwondo style fights where they're actually using some punches, I feel like it's a bit similar to Pettis' style. And I feel like maybe I think that Taekwondo style kind of bleeds into all his striking, even though he's adjusted really well for MMA. I think it's kind of nice to see those kind of basic fundamentals. And some people might say, of course, look, with punches, Taekwondo is not known for that. But I still think, it's good. I mean, you have that kind of like unpredictability. You have the kind of the hands low and those kind of fast jabs or fast punches out there to kind of just punish, find your range or punish the guy when he gets close to you, so that way you can land those kicks. I think it's a really interesting Taekwondo kind of style. I don't know, I've kind of really gotten into Taekwondo. I've always kind of had this fascination with Taekwondo. I just love the flashiness, you know. But anyway, go back to the fight. So, you know, Diaz is pressuring forward to get Pettis to the cage, and this is a really lot of success for him, landing short. Tapping fists, you know how the Diaz brothers kind of do that? It's almost like they're almost landing with the palm of the hand. It's nothing that's really going to hurt you necessarily, but it's going to annoy you, and it doesn't feel good, but it's kind of annoying you. It's kind of getting you off your game. And, you know, landing those to the face, and then the knees up top, and then punches to Pettis, right? He's kind of landing those kind of short punches. Nothing that's going to really hurt you too bad or KO, but it's just enough to kind of bother you, you know, soften you up a bit, for lack of a better term. Right, just landing it, and of course knees to the legs, which I like. That was really good. I think that, of course, we all knew that pressure was going to be the key for Diaz's success in this, and I really like that he was landing those knees to the legs, though, kind of take away from the movement, the mobility of Pettis. That's really good. That pressure as the cage, we all know that that's the thing. Pettis, because we know Pettis is going to come up and fight Cowboy. Is kind of why I went back to look at his fights, and that we all know. I mean, that's where he kind of. That's his weakness, his kryptonite, right? Like really high style pressure fighters or wrestling, really strong wrestlers. And very good strategy, fight IQ from Diaz really shown, to attack Pettis in a way that would slow Pettis down, right? I really like that. Diaz eventually gets the fight to the ground, where he lands ground and pound after thwarting Pettis' attempt to scramble out. It was really good. I mean, these guys, they have really high level BJJ, so that was really interesting. The scrambles on the ground really good. Very good control from Diaz, taking the back of Pettis and mounting after. And then, obviously a strong round for Diaz, right? Round 2 starts with a good intensity from both, and Pettis landing up top with the left hand, which is really good. Yeah, Pettis jabs in defined range, goes to 1-2 strikes, and makes a low kick after hooks up top, which is really good. I like it was mixing it out. I think Duke Rufus and his corner was like kind of telling him, really you could really hear the intensity in the fight. After the first round, they knew, like, okay, good. Like, look, you're getting up the cage. We all know, like, he's gonna pressure you. He's gonna get the cage. He's gonna get the best of you. So they kind of tell him to kind of, I like that kind of lean, like, go to the left. Don't just back up to the cage. Go to your left. Circle around so you're not getting pressure to the cage, right? And I think he did listen to him. His left eye seems to be bothering him. I think because of when Pettis was landing that little kind of mixing it up a bit, kind of going with that high intensity. Just kind of that high intensity brought to him, and he kind of wants to. I think Pettis felt the urgency and really listened to the corner and tried to, give some adversity. And, but Diaz's left eye seems, like I said, it seems bothering, but he pressures on forward, shooting his long punches, his long limbs, those long arms out and closing a distance. So he kind of lands that out. He lands those long punches out to kind of close the distance and pressure you, right? He wants to get in close in a way, even though he likes to hit, the Diaz brothers like to hit you off at range. They kind of like to, like I said, they're really high on their lead leg. They have that lead leg out, which is susceptible to leg kicks, but that allows them to kind of to swing back to make you miss your punch, and they can just kind of then like lean forward to get close to you, and even if you're a little bit further away, they can land those long arms out there to you. It's a really kind of good countering style as far as boxing is concerned, as far as the MMA boxing. And it's really good. Diaz gets Pettis to the cage, but Pettis uses the advice from this corner, like I said, during the break, and circles to the left, right, to pressure Diaz with punches aimed at the face. You know, he's kind of going, he's gonna not headhunting, but just kind of going for the face. You know, I think because he saw that the eye was bothering Diaz, kind of really smart, good killer instinct. Diaz keeps touching his left eye, and at like about 3:25 into the fight of the second round, the ref calls time, and Diaz shows his his grip by continuing. He's just like nah. And as we know, like he would continue. He's not gonna call it off. Like just like when he fought Masvidal, which is of course after this fight. Yeah, he just he wanted to continue. Just so much scar tissue there, and you can see actually it's funny, when you see the eye, that same cut. See that scar tissue is open. You see that cut that got opened on him in this fight. You see it in the Masvidal fight that got opened right away. It's the same place. If you see it, it's pretty bad, man. So much scar tissue on the Diaz brothers, man. They roll with punches, but I mean they do like they get hit, But anyway, Pettis lands a right to counter Diaz's body kicks, which is good, because Diaz is going for these nice kicks, kind of almost like a teep kick. Pettis lands, like I said, to right to counter Diaz's body kicks and misses a spinning kick to Diaz's head, which is really good. It was like that. It's really good. We all know. I mean, hey, Pettis, and Diaz is making kind of miss with that. He didn't really land it effectively, but the thing is, if you allow Pettis to kind of get comfortable in there, and maybe he'll miss. Of course, he's kind of sending it out there, showing you, reminding you, hey, I'm dangerous. Like I always got this flashiness, this flashy taekwondo style that could land something. High risk, high reward. You're gonna miss, but if you give him enough opportunities, if you allow him to get comfortable in there, eventually he will land on you. I think that's what. But like I said, Diaz just keeps that pressure up so it doesn't happen, right? Diaz continues pressure and gets takedown. Pettis seems to be like fading after by this point, I think because he's just trying. He's been getting beat up. He's got some work to the body as well. Those front kicks from Diaz kind of slow him down, and also he tries to. We throw him. We see him throw his hands. He's really putting a lot into it, trying to really get it out there. He's just trying to get it back, and going for something like a spinning kick is also going to expend your energy. But yeah, so Pettis does scramble to his feet, but Diaz pushes him against the cage and lands a left elbow to the face. And Pettis answers back with his own punches to make it a brawl. He's answering back. He's getting hurt, but Pettis is a warrior. He's in there, man. And both show their heart, but Diaz does a good job of half clinching, kind of holding the back of Pettis' head and controlling the hands. He's grabbing the hands, which is really smart. He wants to close, he wants to impose his will. And you see Diaz kind of like put his head against you. Almost like, obviously not good wrestling, but it's like kind of like the dirty boxing style, if you want to put like that. He's kind of pushing his head against you, making the fight ugly, as Cormier would say, right? And controlling the hands, right? Pettis bites down on his mouthpiece and swings, but he is fading. You could see the heart of Pettis really coming out, but I just wonder. I think that that's why 170, fighting 170. I think for Pettis, he's not naturally at that weight class. Like he's fine, he looks good. He looks all right, but I think it's better for him to get kind of leaner, get down. I'm sure. Diaz as well, right? Nate Diaz is not like a natural 170 because the people that fight at 170 are usually cutting down, right? They're cutting down weight. They look leaner at that weight, right? But I think Diaz or something like Pettis, they can easily make 170. It's still cutting down to it, but I think for them to get like that ripped kind of good cardio, I think you'd really want to see them at almost like a catch weight, like 165, maybe 160, be good. 155, yeah, but I feel it's kind of. I don't know. I think it's kind of a tough weight cut for Diaz these days. I'm not sure. But anyway, going back to the fight, it was a great back and forth until the round ends. Diaz has continued to use good knees during the clinch. That's why I really saw that. I think just really good game planning and fight IQ from Nate Diaz in this fight. But in round 3, the final round of this is only a 3-rounder, which some people thought maybe it favored Pettis. Because Pettis more. He wants that kind of flash style, wants to get you out there, at least land something good on you. Diaz is more like, of course, as we know, cardio machine, so they like to kind of wear on you, and in the later rounds, like by the 4th or 5th round, really hurt you. Pettis' right ankle seems to be swollen from kicking at this. I think because he's trying to land his kicks and stuff. That's an unfortunate thing when it gets checked, or when you don't land something that really takes the guy out. You're risking, like I said, it's high risk, high reward with kicks, right? In my opinion. Especially with that taekwondo style, right? But it is swollen, it's hurt, but Pettis like a warrior, keeps going. Diaz starts pressure right away, but Pettis tries to make Diaz pay for it with a front kick of his own and some punches up top. He's answering back. Diaz seems the fresher of the two and continues mixing up attacks to the body and head, which is really good. Good to mix it up. Just especially when you see someone that's they're fading. attacking the body is going to really kind of it's paying in dividends, man. Really paying off for you. The signature straight 1-2 finds Pettis, from Diaz, and he's against the cage, which is not good, man. You let him find that 1-2. He likes to range find and like land that little right. I have a little right extended, it's out there to hit you. Diaz continues to box him up. Pettis answers back and lands a spinning back elbow. Like I'm saying, I'm not saying it landed clean, but still, it's gonna hurt you. It's cut you up, man. It's a freaking elbow. And with Pettis' style, like I said, it's he's no stranger to spinning stuff, man. So he can land it. Diaz takes advantage of this though, of Pettis leaning down because he's trying landing that spinning back elbow, and then he's kind of bends down naturally from from the momentum of the hit. And Pettis leaning down, and Diaz lands a knee that visibly hurts him. I mean, he lands those longer limbs. He's obviously the lankier guy of the two, taller guy, and he was easily to land those knees up. Man, it was brutal. I remember I saw that. Diaz clinches up to land some more knees, dropping Pettis down. I mean, yeah, it was a really brutal and really good killer instinct from Diaz. Diaz lands ground and pound. He's on top. And Pettis tries to threaten some submissions and. To roll over. It's not like I think he knows he's not going to get it. I mean, they're both really high level BJJ, but I think it's smart for Pettis just to kind of attack that, just to kind of like throw Diaz off his game a little bit, just kind of like alter the momentum of the fight to put it into his own momentum, or at least just try to almost neutralize Diaz, try to get out of danger. Basically, he's just trying to do something, but Diaz is all over him, and Diaz sinks in a left hook, the hook, one of the hooks in, and takes Pettis back. And striking with his free right hand. The right hand's free, the left hook is in, and he's really smart. He puts his leg underneath. Really, really, really good stuff, man. High level BJJ. And I think Pettis was just too tired at this point to really kind of effectively fight back with his BJJ. But there's more sprawling results. He's still fighting back though. He's trying to get out. More sprawling results in Diaz with his back on the ground, looking for a rear naked choke. He's trying to choke out Pettis, but Pettis reverses out. I mean, they're slippery, and Pettis is he's got high BJJ himself, like I've said, and he's got that, fight in him, man. And he's on top of Diaz, okay, at around 2 minutes and 33 seconds in the fight. And Diaz lands some strikes to Pettis' face while he's on his back. All right, but Pettis lands some elbows as well. He's trying to fight back. He's trying to get some ground and pound, get some strikes. Diaz looks for a triangle, but they're both so slippery, and Pettis avoids it and then scrambles to his feet. Right, Diaz lures Pettis back to the ground, and Pettis obliges. Like he just went, he's like on top. I think you could see he's like grabbed the foot of Diaz and just kind of like, I want to land something. He says he wants to get me back. He's like, come on. He wants you. He's like, kind of motioned to him like, come on, get in my guard. And like I said, Pettis obliges. Like, you know what? Let me try to land a ground pound. The pound, it didn't really land though. He just kind of but he's on a dominant position. I think. He's like, well, better than letting him stand up and try to push me against the cage. I'll just be on top of him. Maybe I'll land some ground and pound. I think that's what he's thinking. But, Diaz lands glancing elbows and a backhand, so he kind of lands that elbow, and then when he's pulling his hand back, he lands a little backhand. Nothing like really, not like I said, it's not really going to really truly hurt him or rock him or anything, but just something to make the fight ugly. Just kind of maybe cut up Pettis' face. I think he's just trying to, he does that kind of like glancing blows. And of course, the Diaz brothers are no strangers to slaps. Anything to kind of throw after game, kind of get you a little flustered, maybe hurt you a little bit. And, so anyway, and he's looking for an armbar too in this. That's what Diaz is doing. But Pettis, sprawls out, steps over to take the back, but Diaz slides back and gets top position. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's really good scrambles, man. The fight on the feet was really good. It was like a war, but also the scramble was really interesting in this fight as well. Shows the heart of Pettis, He's always in it. Until you knock him out, he's going to be in the fight. Even if he's fading, he's going to fight back. Both slide around, reversing positions on each other, and Diaz looking for a triangle, but the fight ends with Pettis in top position and both firing punches, with Diaz edging out more output. I mean, Pettis is always striking back, but you can tell, Diaz is just landing more. I would say, it almost felt like he was landing 3 times more. Like for every punch, Pettis landed was like 3 more from Diaz, at least. Diaz wins by unanimous decision and show of respect, from both sides, which is nice. And, of course, it leads to the infamous call-out of Masvidal. But I hope you liked my little kind of review of this fight. It was a really good one. I suggest you kind of watch it on Fight Pass. It's really good, man. Go ahead and I wish it was sponsored by them. But yeah, go watch it, and I think it's really good. It shows because I know this is kind of highlighting a loss of his, but it shows the grittiness. This is what you have to do to beat him. Like if Cowboy, when he's gonna fight, when he's gonna do this rematch, well, it's like a rematch because it's like they fought there before. When Cowboy's gonna fight Anthony Pettis, it's kind of like what he needs to do. Like I say, it's kind of hard uh, to kind of emulate that because Diaz is a very different fighter, and we saw like when Diaz beat Cowboy as well. But it's interesting. You can see even from a loss, you can see how they respond, what their holds are, and what they do. So I think that's kind of we all know that's kind of like the way to beat Pettis. And I think if Cowboy wants to do that, that's what he's going to need to do. Pettis is always showing that he's always dangerous. He's always going to be in the fight. And yeah, good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. So stay safe out there, guys, and enjoy the fights.